Hello, my name is Chris Robinson. I'll be your instructor for Math 107. I'd like to take some time to show you how our course is set up in Blackboard. Just some important items to get you started. I'll try not to make this video long. I do want you to listen to some other items concerning the calendar, the syllabus, um, things like that. And that's part of what's going to make this shorter is by you listening to those others. You won't have to have one long stretch. Just break it into manageable chunks. So I'm using Zoom. You're probably familiar with that by now. If you ever need to have an office hour, just send me an email and we could confer using Zoom if email isn't enough. Let me share my screen here and let's see essentially what Blackboard's going to look like. I realize you're probably already in there whenever it comes to accessing this overview, but let's see where we can go with it. So the essential items. So if you come into Blackboard, it's going to take you into the Start Here area, a little bit of introduction about myself. But the read and watch essential items is where I would like you to go next whenever you go forward in the course. I have posted the syllabus in here. It's got it as a PDF. I also have a voice thread. This is a chance for you to start using VoiceThread if you haven't already, discussing the important parts from the syllabus. It's not every single thing from the syllabus that gets to be too much, but definitely listen to that. Make sure you're checking out things regarding tests. How are we going to do? What are the other assessments in the class? Just make sure you listen to that. If you got questions, let me know. Let's see here. Blackboard can be a little funny at times whenever it hides menus on you. So I went over here, kind of this main divider, and I just pulled that out some. So the course syllabus is the first thing in here. Let's talk about the course textbook. I have this set up for us to be able to gain access to essentially pay for the textbook inside Blackboard, if that's what you'd like to do. So we call this first day access. What you'll want to look for here is over on the left side underneath tools, there's this tab that says, or this link that says course materials. I'm going to select that in just a moment. But before I go there, if you have any troubles with this process, if there's something that hits a snag, you do have some options here, either a website, an email, a phone number. If something's giving you trouble, you're trying to get an access code for some reason, it doesn't work or something like that, and you just can't get a hold of me, you have a chance to contact Barnes & Noble. They're the ones who run this service. But hopefully it'll run very well, won't be any issues. You select course materials, will be on the left. And what we get into, it'll take maybe a moment, is this area where you can reveal an access code, and you have until the 18th of May to activate this if you like. And it will give you a copy of the textbook that's electronic, not a hard copy. So let's make sure we're clear about this. This option will be about $80. You'll get an electronic copy of the textbook as well as access to MyLab. MyLab is what we'll do for submitting homework and quizzes. So you have to have MyLab some way or another. The e-text, you might want a hard copy. We'll talk about that in a second, okay? So if you look, you got some things you can read, some notes, but this reveal access code, I'm not going to select that because it doesn't really make sense as an instructor for me to do that. But if you want to go with the electronic copy, select that. It's going to give you a code. And then what's going to happen is you want to copy that code and just hold on to it for a little bit, okay? I'll talk to you about how to get into MyLab and get an account going in just a minute. Right now, I'm just focusing on the textbook. Now, just in case you don't like this option, and what often happens with this is maybe a student wants a hard copy of the textbook. So I'm just getting back to where we were a minute ago. I have a link down here. If you don't want to do the opt-in for that, you select the link and it will take you to Pearson's website, and it'd be $95 to get a hard copy of the textbook with MyLab. They say free delivery, so you're not paying for that, but you get something you can write on. And I realize that people's learning styles are different. Go with what suits you. You do have to wait a little bit for the hard copy to be mailed to you. So just keep that in mind. Might take a few days to get there. So let me back out of this and get back to, can I get back to where we were a minute ago? And there's one other thing I should mention. If you do decide to go with the hard copy of the text, I'm not seeing at this moment, but there should be an option on here that says opt out. Let's see, I'm gonna go ahead and select the read now and see if they tell you about the opting out. So if you opt out, you have the option to change your mind about that until the 18th of May. So if you want to go with your textbook, it's a hard copy, but you change your mind, you can do that. But the key thing is here, if you don't opt out, don't indicate to them, they're going to charge you. It goes into your university account. You can't really escape it. So I always worry that students might not want the textbook and the electronic copy of it. They might accidentally end up paying for it twice. Opt out if that's your choice. If you're having troubles with that, let me know. We can get in contact with the bookstore. I'm not seeing anything right here that's really helping me with what I was wanting to do for you, so I'm just going to let that be. But that's probably enough about the textbook. If you got more questions, just send me an email. We'll sort that out. Also in the essential items, you have the objectives if you want to see what we'll be learning for the course. And you also have a course calendar. And I think perhaps this is very important because if you select the PDF, you can see when all of our test dates are. So you can start to think about scheduling with work. You got homework assignments, quizzes, all that. Everything that's due is going to be on here. The final date, all that is ready for you to see. That's good there. So once you've looked at these, really the essential items, I told you a little earlier, we're going to come back. We're going to talk about the technology tools, get into MyLab, get that going. So the first thing I want to make sure, maybe VoiceThread is something I should mention. As we go through the class, we will have times where we talk about how we apply the concepts that we're learning in the text to health professions. Now that could be in a nursing situation, a respiratory tech, a radiology technician. So it's an opportunity for you as a student to share what you're doing and how it relates to the math where you have been studying. But if you're new to VoiceThread, it kind of got you some tutorials here on how to post a comment. I'm very picky. I do want us, whenever we post our comments, to do it at a certain place in the slides so that it's easier for me to find them when I need to grade them. Okay. But let's go down here to the MyLab. That's what I want to take a look at next. We've got a browser check, which isn't as big. Here we go. So you already had a code for MyLab whenever you said you wanted to purchase the text. So it said copy code. Well, if you've never used MyLab before, you need to set up an account. So what I did was whenever I said MyLab, when that was in there, I'm going to go back to it, there's a student registration handout. I selected that, and it will guide you through the process. This should be like really the only time you have to step outside of Blackboard to go to Pearson. I've tried to link everything so that you can always go into MyLab through Blackboard. That's my hope. So create yourself a username and password for it. Be careful not to forget those because I don't always have the opportunity to get a password if you should forget it. So make sure you write those down. Just good thing to keep in mind. But once you've got that set up, then you can go ahead and go in. You can select your course. Actually, it shouldn't have you select a course because you'll be going into through our Blackboard. It should know which course you're coming from. You just need to enter that code in, and MyLab should be very seamless and easy to get into. If you have trouble though, let me know and we'll work it out. So that takes care of getting your textbook, getting MyLab up and going. We talked about VoiceThread. After you've got that stuff going, I'd like you to introduce yourself to the class. Okay, just a short snippet. I've got a few questions if you're not certain what to say. So if you're not familiar with VoiceThread, I've got this this embedded VoiceThread in here. You can go ahead and maximize if you like. And whenever you are getting ready to do something in VoiceThread, you go down to the comment part. Now, it's not going to let me do anything right now because I haven't signed in. That shouldn't be too big of an issue with you. If it does ask you to sign in, the credentials that you use to sign in to your USI account will be the same ones to sign into VoiceThread. I'm going to send you an email here in just a little bit. I've got a contact list for everybody in the class so that it should actually provide you a link to the place that you need to post your introduction. You should not be creating a VoiceThread all by yourself. Shouldn't be creating one new. It should have this in the background. You just go down here to comment, you hit the plus, and it'll have like a mic. Sometimes students will type in their introduction. That's okay too. But got a few questions to kind of help us all know where to start. Sometimes it's a little hard to do that. But please, please, please introduce yourself to the class. And then after that, you can start into module number 1. I will set this course up so it will go into each module when you log in, say Tuesday of our first week of class. I'll set it where you don't enter it start here. You enter the course in module 1 and just kind of keep it a little easier for you to flow through the course. Let's see here. Down here underneath the modules section, actually I should talk about the modules first. I have set them up so they have a recurring structure. I'll give you an overview. I have a link to the e-text. Let's select that for a second. See if they make me sign in, kind of get your experience. Sometimes it's a little hard to use the e-text at first because it's not something we're always used to. Oh, good. Log in just well. Up here where this menu's at, you can go down and select what you need. I try and give you some page numbers. Now, if you're looking for page numbers in the text, they were on the side. Looks like one's up here. Let me. So you'll see like midway down on the left side, they'll tell you the page number of the text. So a lot of times whenever I give you assignments, I'll be asking you to look at a certain practice set. I'll give you the page numbers. You can look over here on the left side and see you're in the right place. I haven't found a way yet to just go or jump to a certain page number in the e-text. If you do find that, please let me know. I'd like to share that. A lot of times you can take a look at the chapter or the section within the chapter, their names, and that'll help you get closer if you're trying to get to that particular page in the textbook. But again, that's how you get into your textbook. Use that link in MyLab. Use that link in Blackboard to get you to MyLab, and then use the menu to get to the particular page in the textbook. All of our online assessments, I have a folder for them, and I've got your due dates up here to tell you when everything's due. The VoiceThreads will always be done within Blackboard, but if you select on the assignments, we're not going to see any at this moment because I haven't opened them up for you. But whenever beginning next week starts, you'll see a homework 1, a homework 2, a quiz 1. So you do have links within Blackboard to take you to all the homework assignments, and you'll be able to get there pretty quick. Shouldn't be a problem. Let's see here. So we've got that. We have seen where your online assessments can be. I also have practice exams to look at before you take each exam. You got a key. You got the original. If you want to print it off, work it out. You got a VoiceThread where I discuss the ideas and supplemental resources. It's not quite a traditional class where I have lectures that I tape. I don't do that so much for the first module, but I have tapes or recorded some VoiceThread lectures for the second and third, and a bit even of the fourth module. If you're wanting to review, I do have some links to some Khan Academy videos that could be helpful for you as well. If those aren't enough resources, let me know. I'm here to help you. It's just some people don't need as much review with fractions. Some people do, and I provide them what they need on a case-by-case basis. So all the modules will look pretty similar as far as the way they're set up. Looking down here underneath the tools, I do have another link to MyLab underneath course materials. You probably won't need to use that. Checking grades, if you want to take a look and see where you stand, that's the way to do it. Graded items. As we go throughout the semester, whenever I grade your exams, I'm going to have, you'll select graded items. Now, right now, I can't see anything because I've set folders up for you as an individual only to see it. If I went into this as in my teacher mode, so let me switch over to that. I'm going to switch over, and now you can see kind of what's going on in the background. I have set up folders inside this graded items area for each of you to put your graded work. So whether it be a discussion question or a exam, you'll have Lacey, if you're looking, you'll select on that link there, and it will take you into a SharePoint, Microsoft 365 SharePoint. Again, this is all through your USI, and you would see a file here where I have put your graded work, and you can take a look at it. Send me some questions if you got them. That will be how I post all the work through the semester. Let me get back to where we were, and let me switch back to the way you will see it. There are some errors in the textbook as you go through, and I have put those together. What I mean by errors, if you look in the very back, sometimes the key to the practice questions might have an error in it. Take a look there. There's a few times that I needed to fix them. I'll tell you the page number, all that information. And let's see here. The rest of the stuff, there's a link for you to send me an email if you need. But beyond that, you pretty much got the way it's set up for the course. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen now. Let me see here. Give me a second. And we're really getting to the kind of the end of this. You know how Blackboard's set up. Hopefully you're good for getting your textbook going and getting MyLab set up. If any problems should arise, let me know. Looking forward to a good semester. It kind of feels remote in the sense that we don't meet in class. We don't have regular lecture times. Don't let that get in the way of learning something. If you're having difficulties, I'm always an email away. I'd be happy to work with you. It's just we have a very flexible format because many of you are going to have different work schedules. So this is part of what makes it happen. Good. Glad to meet you in some virtual way, and hopefully it's a good semester.